There are 19.8 million registered vehicles in Australia and over 2 billion worldwide. Cars produce greenhouse gas emissions which cause climate change, and the transport sector is responsible for 14% of these emissions worldwide. With a rise of 2.5% each year, inaction will see emissions double by 2050, impacting not only the environment but the economy and society also. In urban areas, impacts are magnified, with an estimated 3 million people moving into cities each week. Accommodating policies have resulted in urban sprawl, which in turn increases reliance on the car, compounding noise and air pollution, traffic congestion, health issues and social inequality. For cities to be sustainable, they must move away from this car-based design. The move then is towards transit-supportive neighbourhoods, where access to jobs, services and social opportunities all exist within a short travel time using public transport, cycling and walking. These options, however, must also be equitable, ensuring opportunity for all ethnicities, incomes and abilities. Cycling fits well as it is a zero-emission, healthy option that is affordable and resilient. So how does Sydney compare? 4.8 million people live in Greater Sydney, spread over 12,000 square kilometres, with an extra 1.3 million expected by 2030. With high car ownership, it increasingly suffers from congestion, with 59% of workers travelling by car as compared to only 0.7% by bike. There is more economic disadvantage in the west and southwest. It is also a very culturally diverse city. In this context, the Resilient Sydney strategy envisions a people-centred city, a more equitable city, where cycling will help improve health, well-being, connections and resilient transport options. Plans for Sydney's cycling future outline infrastructure and policies to achieve these aims. However, if equity is not recognised and truly addressed, Sydney risks creating disenfranchised communities, undermining the growth of functioning, healthy and less car-reliant neighbourhoods. So what programs and policies have been used by other cities to address equity in cycling that might help Sydney? Bogota in Colombia, with a population of 11 million, is hailed as one of the most bike-friendly cities in the world. But even with 550 kilometres of bike lanes, it is still one of the most congested cities. However, almost 7% of trips in Bogota are by bicycle, with the aim to reach 10% by 2020 and 50% in the longer term. This results from over 20 years of strong commitment from successive mayors to tackle sustainable mobility, demarginalisation, social integration and climate change. A new 25-kilometre cycling avenue will run north-south and connect citizens from low, middle and high-income neighbourhoods with jobs, schools and recreation. This project saw a centralised management structure put in place for the overall administration of cycling, while still allowing for cross-departmental needs. It ensures each section keeps abreast of developments and can promptly address challenges. One of its biggest successes in getting residents from all walks of life to cycle and be active is the Ciclovia, a free, community-based program. Every Sunday, 120 kilometres of roads are closed to motor vehicles to allow exclusive access for pedestrians and cyclists. With up to 1.4 million participants weekly, it includes entertainment, health checks, bike mechanics and free bicycle use. It is now replicated in over 400 cities around the world. The Bicycle Centre, created with private sector assistance, supports entrepreneurial cycling initiatives and holds bicycle mechanic classes, training over 200 people to date. Although Bogota's bike planning began with a top-down approach, it came from strong objectives. It now actively seeks input from residents, cycling groups and NGOs and has created communities that are vital to the decision-making process. Chicago, with a population of 5.1 million, is located in the 16th most friendly bicycle state in the US. The current network covers 400 kilometres with a target of 1,000 and for all residents to be within 1 kilometre of the network. In the planning process, the city was divided into 9 sectors, each with its own community advisory group who work with residents to provide advice on best network location. In 2014, a nationwide cycling advocacy group were concerned poorer sections of Chicago were still underserved, so they created a bicycle equity index for the city. Chicago was mapped via factors such as zero-car households, minority groups and poverty. The existing and future networks were then overlaid to reveal deficiencies. These results were not meant to be read as a complete solution to assessing bike equity, but as a tool in helping identify communities in higher need. Chicago is currently expanding its bike share program to cover all areas currently unserviced and subsidising annual membership for low-income households. And it employs ambassadors who educate and encourage pedestrian and cycling safety at schools and events, reaching over 75,000 residents and helping more than 250 people learn to ride. At the grassroots level, several not-for-profit bike shops operate in some of the most disadvantaged areas, providing youth programs, job skills training and bike refurbishment for distribution to those in need. Overall, Chicago has built on its infrastructure plans with strong community consultation. It is aided by the power of cycling groups in achieving tangible results in addressing equity issues in cycling. In assessing these programs and policies, it should be noted that Bogota and Chicago are much denser cities with nowhere near the spread of Sydney, but they all have mixed communities. Therefore, a combination of options or different scale of implementation presents the best approach if Sydney is going to realise its potential as a truly equitable cycling city. Firstly, implement a central point of coordination, most likely through the Greater Sydney Commission. From this, create a network of representatives from all local councils and relevant state departments, keeping a database on all cycling information and programs to enable coordinated responses and cross-pollination of ideas and potential resources. Undertake and maintain a bicycle equity index for the Greater Sydney region. Stage smaller, free cyclovia-style events in district centres to foster and learn from community participation with a view to linking all cyclovias. Identify all bicycle advocacy and community cycling groups for consultation, participation and possible funding. Identify potential places, providers and partners for social enterprise-based bicycle centres. Seek possible avenues of funding and outside partnerships. The idea is for a collaborative network that aids and assists across government, groups and the community itself, embracing local input from the outset, and to recognise, address and provide opportunities to meet the varying needs of all of Sydney cyclists and potential cyclists.